morning, students. Again we are back. Today we are going to discuss few new topics on chapter number 21, that is social change. So now we must be aware what is a social change. A change we cannot see but only feel, that is known as an social change. Right? We did few topics yesterday. We are going to do again new topics today. Right? Before moving towards the new topic, let us discuss the topics that we did yesterday. So those students who have not even viewed the video, right, I'll give you the highlight what topic that we did yesterday. Yesterday we did rights of child, rights for protection and exploitation, child labor, what is child labor, right, neglected child, reasons for child labor and reasons for more demand of child labor. These are the topics that we did yesterday, right? I request the student to read the topic from the textbook, right? Today we are going to discuss few more topics, right, about the same chapter, that is social change. The topic keeps on changing. The topic keeps on changing. We have to understand social change in different ways. So let us look what are the new topics that we are going to learn today. Efforts for abolishing child labor. So we have seen what is child labor actually, right? So now we know the condition. So now we have to understand what child labor is, and we have to put the efforts to abolish child labor. We have to remove child labor, right? Point number 2. Protecting the elderly and the helpless. Again, one of the most important concept of social change, that is protecting the elderly people. In our Indian society, we find many people who does not protect the elders. Elders are being forced to stay out of the house, to stay somewhere else, right? So again, that is protecting the elderly people is one of the greatest and important concepts of social change. Point number 3, that is steps taken by government for safety of elderly peoples. What does government play the role, right, in protecting the elderly peoples? That is also we are going to look today in this textbook or in this chapter. 4th is antisocial activities. What is antisocial activities? That I'll explain on later on, but we need to understand what are the elements, right, which spreads negativity. Just remember these things. We have to stop all that activities. That is the biggest part of antisocial elements, right? Spreading rumors, spreading the informations which is not correct, right? That is an important part of antisocial activities. Just remember this thing right now. We'll look into the textbook thoroughly what actually antisocial activity is. Next is corruption in our country and in foreign country. And the last topic for is steps to curb corruption, steps to stop corruption. How will we stop corruption, right? So these are the two particular 5 to 6 topics that we are going to discuss today. Take out your textbook, page number 180. Page number 180. Efforts for abolishing child labor. Right? First topic, page number 180, last paragraph. Many constitutional provisions have been made by the government in order to abolish child labor. Child exploitation or abuse, they are as follows. Number 1, constitutional provision. So what is a constitutional provision? No child below 14 years will be employed in a factory or occupation or a job. I'm repeating the point again, try to understand it. No child below 14 years will be employed in a factory or occupation or a job. If anybody breaks the law, legal action may be taken against the employer. That is the first particular constitutional provision made by the government. That if any child found working in any factory or any occupation or anywhere he has been found working something, right, thus legal steps will be taken against the employer. Who is an employer? Who gives the job to a child. Legal steps would be taken on that particular employer. Second point, he cannot be exploited in any way in childhood or teenage. He cannot be devoid of moral security and physical comforts, right? That is the second most important thing. He cannot be exploited in any way. We have seen yesterday that the child has been exploited in many ways, right? So the second constitutional provision made by our government is, right, he cannot be exploited during his childhood. During his childhood, right? He cannot be devoid of moral security. He has to be given the moral security from the society, from family members, from parents, and from the surroundings where do they stay, right? And all the physical comforts that he requires during his childhood must be given to that child, right? That is also included in the constitutional provision. Point number C. After implementation of constitution, or within 10 years, government will have to arrange free education for children up to 14 years of age. Free education provided by the government. I said yesterday, right, that government is planning many new steps, right? Government is giving all the facilities to the children who are actually poor, who cannot pay the fees. They are being provided all the kinds of help. I'm repeating point number C again. Try to understand. Implementation of constitution within 10 years, government will have to arrange free education for the children who are below the age of 14 years. Who are below the age of 14 years, right? So government is giving free education to all the children who are below the age of 14 years, right? Next, page number 181. In relation to this, central and state government have implemented this law in 2009, so that children of 6 to 14 age group may get free and compulsory education, right? I'm repeating the last line again. Free and compulsory education from the age of 6 to 14. All the expenses will be borne by the government. So no child in India will remain educationless. They'll get a compulsory education, especially from the age of 6 to 14. This is the age, where they divert themselves, or where they are being diverted by their parents, by society, or by the surroundings, or by the situations that they face. So instead of being diverted to the other part, that is working somewhere as a laborer or as a particular daily wages child, right? Government has decided to give compulsory education to a child who is at the age of 6 to 14 years, right? This is all the efforts that are being made by the government for abolition of child labor, right? I hope the concept is clear. Next topic, that is protecting the elderly and helpless. Again, one of the most important concept in terms of social change, right? As the society keeps on developing itself, right, the mentality of the people is getting low day by day, right? People are not ready to keep the old people at their home, right? They are being forced to live in somewhere the other parts, right? That does not match the standard of living, that does not think as we think. These are the situations that are going on in the society, right? So the government has planned to protect the elderly and the helpless people also. What are the plans that the government has made? Look into the textbook. The problem of elderly and helpless people is universal. Old age is a natural order. It is the responsibility of the society to think about security and well-being of the elderly people, right? I'm repeating the line again. It is the responsibility of the society. It is the responsibility of the society to protect the people, especially the elderly people. Today they are elders, tomorrow it would be you. So if you do not protect your elders, the same or even the worst situation you have to be suffer, or you have to be going through that phase, right, for the next few years, right? So we have to take this concept very seriously and protect all the elderly people. What are the steps that the government has taken? Again, look into the textbook. Presently, average age has increased by 4.3 years due to improvement in health related services, modern medical facilities, medicinal treatment, In the year 2001 to 2005, average lifespan in India was 63.5 years, while it has increased to 67.5 years in 2015. Underline that statement. In the year 2001 to 2005, average lifespan in India was 63 years, and that has been increased to 67.5 years in 2015. That means the lifespan of people is increasing. In India, in the decade 2001 to 2011, the number of elderly people has increased by 2.75 crores. Again, underline that statement. In the decade, that is 2001 to 11, the number of elderly people that has increased is 2.75 crore. According to one estimate, the number of elderly women, according to one estimate, that means it may be manipulating, right? But we have to remember the numbers. According to one estimate, the number of elderly women was 5.28 crore in 2011, while the number of men was 5.11 crores. Again, underline those statements. The highest number of elderly people are in which state? Arunachal Pradesh. Again, underline that statement. The highest number of elderly people are in Arunachal Pradesh in India. In Gujarat, the number of elderly people is approximately 35 lakhs. Because of increasing population of elderly people, an increase in average lifespan, social and physical problems are coming up. Right? This is one of the biggest problem. Right? That is the social and physical problem. That no one has the time today. Everyone is busy in their own life. Everyone wants to grow. Everyone is thinking of themselves. Then who will take care of the elderly people? They cannot take care of themselves as much as we can, because they are elders. Right? They are not that much physically strong as we are. So we need to take care because they are our elders. It is one of the biggest social concept, or we can say social problem, that India is facing today. We have to understand this thing, and we have to take care of our elders in our home or else in our society. Right? Next paragraph. Due to influence of Western culture and urge to live in nuclear family, children are forgetting ethical responsibilities. Children are forgetting ethical responsibilities towards elderly people, values and culture. Right? The people, or the respect that people used to give to the elderly people before 10-20 years back is not the same now. You can see a social change. You go back 10-20 years down the line, from 1990s to 2000, during that time people used to respect the elderly people. Today, can we find all these things? Very hardly. Right? It is a social concept that is keeping on changing day by day. People are becoming more selfish. They are thinking of themselves only, rather than thinking of the elderly people, thinking of the old age people living in the society. Right? One of the biggest, concept that we have to think, we have to act very fastly, or else it would be even much more worse when we become elders. Right? Think on this concept. Government is already thinking on these concepts. Right? Due to influence of Western culture and urge to live in nuclear family, children are forgetting ethical responsibilities towards elderly people, values and culture. Elderly people are compelled to live in old age homes. I'm repeating the line again, try to understand. Elderly people are compelled means forced, to live in old age homes due to lack of sanitization. In order to attract attention of people towards problem of elderly people, United Nations has announced in the year 1999 as International Elderly Year. Along with it,
1st October every year is celebrated as World Elderly People Day at the international level. Again, underline that statement. 1st October every year is celebrated as World Elderly People Day at the international level. Right? We talk of the social change, that is the name of the chapter. We are changing socially, but the rituals, the values, the cultures, the respect, all these things are keeping on changing. Right? I'll give you my own personal example. When I was small, I used to see during Diwali vacations, right, during Christmas times, people used to go to each other houses and wish them, spend good quality time with them. Can you find all these things today? This is a social change. A trend has totally been changed. During Diwali vacation, we go out of states, we go out of our country, post all the photos on the Facebook and show to our, the relatives and cousins and friends and people living in the society that we went to this place. This is today's era. Instead of spending quality time with friends and families and relatives, right, what do? We go to some other state. We go to some other places. So that people, don't come to our house and we don't need to go to some other house. This is the particular current condition of our country. We are losing the values, the respect, the thing that we have, and we are just thinking of ourselves. Can we make social change? No, we cannot make social change. Right? This is called selfishness. Thinking of our own self, leading to a way which is totally a copied concept of westernization. All these things should be stopped. We should change our thinking. We should change our way of behaving with elders. We are losing respect. We are so busy in our own work that we don't care what is going on in our society, what is going on in our own family. We need to think all these concepts. Then only we can protect our elders, or else it will become very difficult. Because there is one saying in this, that what goes around comes around. Right? Tomorrow it might be you, today it is them. Right? So we need to take care of this concept very seriously and protect the elderly people. Right? Look into the particular last topic, that is the steps taken by the government for the safety and security of elderly people. Point number 1. In 1999, the government evolved national policy for senior citizens, according to which elderly people are given the pension. Elderly people are given the pension, so they don't have to, raise hands towards the society, towards the bank, or towards their own family, that now we are retired, we don't have any source of income, we are totally dependent on you. No. So what did the government do? They have started the pension scheme, right? So that they will be self-reliant. They don't have to, take help of the other people for their own survival, right? So the pension scheme has been started by the government. Point number 2. Under various schemes for elderly people, they are given more interest on the amount of deposit by them in post office or bank. Male and female are given 30 to 50% discount concession in bus, railway or air ticket. They are often the concession or offered the discount up to 30 to 50% on flights or on air tickets or on bus tickets. Plus they are being given more interest rates. They are being given more interest rates, so they will have more money, so they can survive easily. Right? Because as we grow older, right, maintenance is much more important. Medicines, survival, other costs, all these things. So government is giving an extra 30 to 50% of discounts in terms of railway tickets, plus more interest on the amount deposited in the post office and in the bank. Point number 3. State government has opened old age home with grand facilities in every district. In the cities, gardens have been developed for them. It tries to bring peace in their life through music, yoga, games, or mental activities. Right? Old age home facilities has also been given by the state government. Gardens has been developed, music systems, games, and the mental activities which keeps them alive, which keeps them happy. Right? You might have seen in the gardens, old age people sitting together for half an hour, 1 hour, talking to other elderly people. All these facilities are being created by the government, so they can talk their feelings, they can share their feelings with someone else who is of their own age. Right? So all these facilities have been created by the state government for the development or the protection of elderly people. Right? Government has implemented parent and senior citizens care and welfare related law in 2007 to protect them from domestic violence, exploitation, or abuse. One of the most important point, has implemented senior citizen care and welfare related laws. Welfare related laws, especially the laws have been made for the senior citizens to protect from violence and exploitation. There are many families in this world, who abuse their own parents, those who are elders, exploitation, one kind of domestic violence, mental pressure, maybe for the property, maybe for the money, or maybe for something else, as they are not able, to match up at our level. Right? We see so many cases happening in the society. So the government has made a special law for the protection of elderly people, especially in the terms of domestic violence, exploitation, or abuse. Under this provision has been made to punish those children who harass them. The responsibility of taking care of elderly people is of their family. One of the most important lines that has been given in the textbook. The responsibility of taking care of elderly people is of their family. It is the responsibility of our own family to protect the elders, rather than to move away to the old age homes, to stay away from our own personal matters. All these things are happening today. They are our elders, they are our forefathers, they have a lot of experience, they understand everything, they have seen the world much more better than us. And rather than putting them on the other side and leaving them alone, it becomes our responsibility to protect our elderly people. It might be in the family, it might be in the society, or it might be in the surroundings. Wherever you find all these things happening, try to help the people, especially who are elders. Try to protect them. Right? They have the right to get maintenance from their children. They have the right to get maintenance from their children. Central government has implemented the program to honor citizens, that is senior citizens, in return for their contribution. Right? It is the particular duty of a child to protect his father and grandfather. Right? We cannot say that now I have started earning good, so I'll just take care of myself and I'll take care of my family and all this. We cannot do all these things. We have to take care of ourselves, we have to take care of our own family, and even we need to take care of the elderly people living in our own houses. Right? It is our responsibility, right, to protect all those people. Then only we would be able to make a successful social change. Why we can make a successful social change? Because people living in the society looks at you. What is happening in your house? They look and they judge you. They talk about you. Right? And it matters a lot in the society. Right? If you are doing something good, people are looking at you, people are watching at you. It might help the other people also. They might learn from your good activities. And that is how you can aware them. Point number one, awareness. That is how you can aware them and bring a successful social change. This is how we need to work. This is how we need to get united. This is how we need to protect the elderly people living in the society. Right? These are the steps that are taken by the government to protect the elderly people. I hope the concept is clear. Moving towards the next topic, that is antisocial activities. Such an individual or a group activity or a behavior which is against rules proposed by the laws in the society is called antisocial activity. An activity which is not accepted by the society, right? There are always certain limitations in the society. We need to live according to that particular needs. We need to stay, or we need to adjust if we want to live as per the norms of the society. And when you go beyond that norms, you are an antisocial particular activity. You are making an antisocial activity which is not accepted by the society. You are going against the law. Right? Next paragraph. We often see some criminal or antisocial or restricted activities in the society like murder, theft, kidnapping, robbery, cheating, rape, immoral trading of girls and women, trickery and cybercrime, which is called blue collar crime. All these things are the part of antisocial activities. You are familiar with all these terms, right? Kidnapping, murder, theft, cybercrime, rape, cheating, all these things are a part of an antisocial activity. No one accepts all these kind of things in the society, right? Still we find many of these terms are being used in the society or are happening in the society. This things is known as an antisocial activities that should be stopped, right? If we want to survive. For example, let us say if there is a robbery in someone else's house, and if you know who had did it, and if you still keep your mouth shut, and if you don't tell it to the officials, right, tomorrow they might enter your house also, right? So if you don't stop antisocial activities, at certain point of time you will be suffering, or you will be a part of antisocial activity, and then we cannot bring a change. The change that is happening would be negative, right? There are many people living in the society, living in the surroundings which are not good, or which does not match with our own thoughts. They are always thinking of the other side. They are always thinking of the activities which is antisocial. Make them understand that what it is, what is right and what is wrong. And if they are still not able to understand, and if they still go against the law, report it to the higher authorities. That is the only way how we can stop antisocial activities. If you don't say anything, if you don't speak it up, at certain point of time you will be in trouble. Why? Because those people would be increasing in number day by day. Then at certain point of time you will be left alone, and you will be having no options. How to come out of all these antisocial activities? We need to understand this concept very seriously and stop all the antisocial activities that are happening in the nearby societies, or in the surroundings, or in our own country, or in our own city, or maybe in our own state. Right? Next. On the other side, white collar crimes are prevalent in the society, like bribery, corruption, tax, aviation, hoarding, adulteration. Adulteration means mixing the things, right? You've seen this, I'll tell you in best example, mixing water in the milk. Land encroachment, when you find a piece of land where no one is there, you will go and keep your house and keep your things over there. And then you will say at certain point of time, I am staying over here since last 3-5 years and this place belongs to me. Harassing the people. Black marketing. One of the important concepts, black marketing. Right? Everything is available in blacks. Simple example that I will say, That if you are going for a movie, the tickets are being full, you get the tickets in black. That is known as in black marketing. All these things are a part of antisocial activities. We should stop all these things. It is the responsibility of a citizen, right? Or as a civilian, it becomes your responsibility to stop all these things. Because it is always says that the middle class man suffers, right? They always try to keep or always try to avoid the things rather than speaking it up. So we should understand all these things and stop antisocial activities. That is black marketing, corruption, bribery, adulteration, all these things should be stopped. These are known as, white collar crimes. These are known as white collar crimes. Third paragraph. Corruption is a global problem. According to the definition given by the World Bank, corruption means the misuse of public position for personal benefits. Right? Underline that statement. Misuse of public position. A government officer, right, sitting on a higher authority, with his sign or with his signature, everything can be done. Right? But he misuses his power as he is on a higher post. And when he takes an extra amount of money, right, just to sign that particular paper, right, that is known as an corruption. That is known as an corruption. Thus, corruption originates due to misuse of status and power by the people. Corruption is prevalent in some of the public and private sectors of Indian society. People involved in corruption, the giver and the taker, both are guilty and worthy to be punished. The giver and the taker, both are guilty and to be punished. The person who is taking and the person who is giving, both are guilty and both should be punished. Right? These are the antisocial activities that are prevailing in our Indian society. Stop all these things, right? Try to change the situation. Try to live your life on a proper format, on a way that is correct. Obey and follow all the laws. Automatically the social activity will be vanished. As I said earlier, people always are looking at you. How do you behave? How do you react? How do you live? Right? Some might learn from you also. And this is how we can bring a social change. That is an anti-social activities that are prevailing in the Indian society, and as an educated person or as a particular citizens of our country, we should stop all these activities. Right? I hope the concept is clear. Next concept, that is corruption. Right? Now we are clear with the term corruption. Right? What corruption is, we have seen as a definition in antisocial activities. Still, we'll look further what actually corruption is in our country and in foreign country. Conduct of corruption is seen in diverse form. It is in the form of giving and taking money. It is in the form of giving and taking money. Gifts, presents in the form of costly ornaments or things or foreign trips. Partial behavior, partiality. Right? Whom you favor, you are on that side, and whom you doesn't favor, they are on the other side. All these things is a part of corruption. Right? Foreign trips, partial behavior, influencing decisions, favoring relatives and friends. Right? We see all these things. Right? Where we work, where we live. Right? People are always favoring those friends, those relatives, or those people who belong to their own caste. I'll give you one simple example. When it is coming about the caste, right? Automatically people gets diverted to their own caste. They don't look into the matter, just they favor their own caste. Out of 10, 6 or 7 people will follow this example. Right? Very few are there to understand the situation and work as per the law. Right? All these things should not be done. Right? We should be ethical. Ethical means what is right and what is wrong is wrong. Maybe in our country or maybe in the other country, as what has been given in the textbook. Right? Favoring relatives, favoring friends, all these things we are seeing in our society. Right? And my point is to be ethical, to live your life as per the values or as per the laws decided by the government. Right? Then only we can stop corruption, or else we are also a part of corruption. Corruption has adverse effect on the economy or society, which is as follows. Point number 1. Because of corrupt behavior, there is a degradation in the moral values and social policy regulation. Right? I'll give you one example, so this concept would be clear. One bad mango in a basket, if it is not taken out from the basket at correct point of time, right, that bad mango will spread its badness to the other mangoes also. And that box will not be of any use maybe in few weeks. And that will be thrown out of the society or thrown out of the particular place where it is kept. Right? This is what corruption is. We have to stop all these activities. We have to take that bad mango from that box and throw it away. But if we constantly sit at our own homes and we'll say it has not happened to us, we cannot bring any kind of change. Alright? Change cannot be done by an individual. It is the society which changes. Then only it can become a social change. Right? Point number 2. Problem of black money originates in economy, which is an hindrance in the development of country. Black money, again an important concept that has been developing in our nation. What is a black money? Black money means the money which is not legal, right? Which is in terms of cash, which does not have any accounts. Where does it actually come from? Might be from some illegal business also. That is known as black money. That is known as black money. Right? Many businessmen, big businessmen, might be having this kind of black money, and that creates an hindrance in the economy. If that money has been put in the hands of government, it would create towards a developed nation, or it would lead a nation on the path of development. But in India, there is a lot of black money involved. Right? Where does it come from? Again, that is a big question mark. Point number 3. Trust of people on laws of state's judicial process, government and administration systems, dealings. Honest people experience more frustration and disappointment. Last line. Try to understand the last line. Honest people experience more frustration and disappointment. Right? We find 99 people, flowing with the particular flow. There is always, that one person who is honest, right? But he has to suffer the most. Why? Because he is following the law. He is working as per the particular laws that are being made in the Constitution of India. And that one people or one person, that honest person would be suffering the most. Right? This is a very serious problem that our country or the world is facing right now. People are mad behind money. How much amount of money they want, they don't know. They just want it to get it on a higher stages, or to increase the amount. But up to what amount? Even they don't know, they are not satisfied. That leads to the negative, standard of living, to the negative way or to the negative path. Right? Corruption is a very big concept. To explain or justify one lecture would not be enough. Right? But try to understand these points that have been given in the textbook, right? And try to, change the way you look in the society, you behave in the society. Then only you can make a social change. Next point. Injustice and disparity in income originates, which results into class struggle. So human rights are violated, right? Injustice and disparity in income. My salary is 20,000, yours is 40,000, someone else is 5,000. We judge people on the income. And that leads to the class struggle. I belong to class A, you belong to class B, you belong to class C. We have made all these classes, right? My salary is XYZ, so I belong to class A. My salary is XYZ, so you belong to class B. My salary is this, so you belong to class C. This should not be done. But we have that tendency in our mind that we judge people on the basis of income rather than knowledge, rather than, the good activities or the good things that are there in a person. We have that tendency to judge people on the basis of income. That is also something very wrong. We should not judge people on an income. Right? Next, human rights are violated. So the human rights are violated. So what will happen to a person who is in the least source of income? He would be sitting on the corner and he won't be even counted in any decisions that are being made. Right? This is where we are dividing people. This is where we are bifurcating people. This is where we are making groups. This is also a corruption. This is also a corruption. Right? Try to understand the previous point, that is, honest people experience more frustration and disappointment. Right? That would be the end result. That is frustration and disappointment. Next, that is, due to corruption, morality and national character are at risk. Fall of level of economic system is there. Due to corruption, national character is at risk. Right? The whole world is watching our country as we are watching to the other countries. The other countries are watching at us. They are keeping an eye on us. Where does the money generate? How does it generate? Right? What is the economic system going on in our country? How many people, are working? How many people are jobless? Right? Are we, mentally and physically strong in terms of a nation? Right? Our national image is at risk. If we stop corruption, if we follow the laws, if we work as per the standards of government, it would lead to the development of a nation, that is our own country, India. We have to follow the laws. Every law has been made for every punishable act. If you have done this as per the law, you will be fined this much amount. If you have done that, again as per the law, you will be punished under this particular act. Everything has been given. We don't care. We don't follow the laws. Right? And on the other side, the population is constantly increasing. So again, lecture number 1, part of survival. Right? And when an individual is looking for his or her own survival, he doesn't see what is right and what is wrong. Right? He might create a theft, he might create robbery, he might create a murder, he might create a kidnapping. Right? And that would lead to corruption and black money. So it becomes our own responsibility, to stop all these activities, to stop corruption. Right? Because it is about the image of our own country, where other countries are watching and keeping an eye on us, what India is doing. We need to understand all these things and take care of all these things, because it even affects the economic system of our country. What is economic system, what is economic development, that we'll look into the chapter number 13, 14 and 15. Right, when we'll go, we'll discuss all these things briefly. Next topic, that is steps to curb corruption. What are the steps that are to be taken to stop corruption? The following are the steps to curb corruption. First, Central Anti-Bribery Bureau was established in 1964. Its function is to investigate the allegation against the government official who are involved in corruption. Corrupt people are caught by it red-handed and been punished by them and had been punished by them. Central Anti-Bribery Bureau, they have the power to check each and everything, whether any official is making any kind of corruption or not, and if found guilty or if caught red-handed, they have the power to punish them. That is Central Anti-Bribery Bureau, and it was established in the year 1964. Underline that statement. This is a separate department of the government of Gujarat. Its headquarters is in Shailibag, Ahmedabad. Again, its headquarters is in Ahmedabad. If common people have any corruption related problems, they may call on the helpline number. The number has been given. Right? If you have any problem, right, you can call on this number related to any kind of corruption happening in the nearby areas. Point number 2. To stop corruption, Indian government formulated Anti-Corruption Act, that is in 1988, and the main objective is to provide clean public life and to stop misuse of position of power. To stop the misuse of position of power. There are many people, who have the power in their own hands. They try to manipulate things, they try to divert the things, they try to create corruption as much as possible. To stop all these activities, government has formulated Anti-Corruption Act. Point number 2, Anti-Corruption Act, that is in 1988, right? To stop the misuse of position of power. It is compulsory for every public servant, high official, politician to declare information regarding their property before assuming in the post. If the property of a person increases more than his appropriate income during his working tenure, it is considered as an offense and punishment may be announced for him. In such cases, government confiscates such property. Government may even seize the property, right? If found that the property is much more rather than the income, the government have the power to seize or seal that property, right? Next, point number 3, right to information, that was established in the year 2005, and citizens' character have been issued with the help of which the government employees have to promise to complete administrative work in stipulated time period by eliminating delay in their own working area and the work under their power, and to make administration transparent and simple. I am repeating the last line. To make the administration transparent and simple. We have the right of information. We can ask about anything what we want from the government official, right? Whatever information what we want. We just have to write a letter to the official department where we want the information, and it becomes their responsibility to provide each and every detailed information within a particular point of time, right? And this act was established in the year 2005. Established, that is in the year 2005, and it becomes the responsibility especially of the administrative officers to complete the work in given point of time, right? And to make the things very transparent and simple. so that the person who are in need of all the information, and when they'll get all the information, it would be easy for them to understand and analyze each and everything whatever they require. That act was established in the year 2005. Again, underline that act. Point number 4. Recently, central government has enacted Black Money Act. In which year? 2005. In which corruption is regarded as a crime. Other than this, changes have been made in FEMA. What is FEMA? Foreign Exchange Management Act, Money Laundering Act, as well as in section 132 of Customs Act. Efforts have been made to stop or curb corruption and find black money by appointing a Lokpal or Lokayut in each state. Right? Appointing an appropriate person, that is known as a Lokpal, to identify all these kinds of cases where anything is related to a Foreign Exchange Management Act. Right? We know that the currencies of different countries, right, and their standards and their values, it keeps on changing. $1 today is around 75 rupees. Tomorrow it may be 77. €1 is around 80 to 84 rupees. One Britain pound is around 95 rupees. Right? So many people try to manipulate this way at the international level. So what did our government do? They have established an act in the year 2005 in which corruption is regarded as a crime, and in this act, that is the Laundering Act, that is as per the section of 132, efforts have been made to stop corruption which is coming from the other countries, and find the black money by appointing a Lokpal, an appropriate person appointed by the government in each and every state. How many states do we have? 28 states. So there is one Lokpal in each and every state appointed by the government to keep and watch on every state what amount of black money is coming from the foreign countries. Right? So that again it is to be curbed, it is to be stopped, because it creates or it hinders or it does not allow our nation to develop. So one Lokpal in one state. And the last point for today, that is point number 5. Gujarat Vigilance Commission, Gandhinagar, has undertaken departmental investigation for the corruption and misuse for power by government official. Gujarat Vigilance Commission, which place? Gandhinagar, has undertaken departmental investigation. There are various departments of government where various officers are being placed, right? So our government, and the office is at Gandhinagar, has undertaken a departmental investigation in every government sectors whether there is any kind of corruption going on, yes or no, just to check it. And if there is any misuse for the power by the government official, they would be punished. These are the steps taken by our government to stop corruption, right? But as a citizen of a country, we should not always blame the government. It is our, moral responsibility to stop all these activities, stop all these things which are called as antisocial activities. It is our responsibilities also. And at least if we cannot do anything, right, if we have that, factor in that mind, we always think of our safety first, we can, give information to the higher authorities without saying our own name. Right? There are many ways to stop all these activities, but we have to be active. We have to be aware. We need to spread information, the actual information. Then only it will be able to bring social change. Right? I hope the concept that we did today are clear. Repeating the concepts again. Today we discussed efforts for abolishing child labor, protecting the elderly and helpless, steps taken by government for safety of elderly people, antisocial activities,
corruption in our countries and how the foreign countries, is bringing the black money in our own country. That is all we have seen today. And the last is the steps taken to stop all the corruption activities, curb corruption activities by the government. Right? So here we will stop. The remaining part of the chapter we will discuss in the next session. Right? Please make a note of all these things. Those students who have not attended the lecture number 1 and 2, this was the things that we discussed. I am repeating it again. This was the thing that we have discussed in the previous session. Right? Please make a note and try to read the chapter from the textbook so that the concept will be clear. Thank you.